Be'ezah Hashem, B'siyata D'Shmaya, we begin the Halacha Shurim, B'siyata D'Shmaya, 9:40 over here. Very, very excited to start again. It's not just the daily Shurim again, which is a minute and a half. These are a little bit longer, so the audience should hopefully try to get into it. I mentioned last night that I was Zoicha to give a interview with Chazak, and we were talking about the idea, the subject was Shabbos Kodesh. It was a beautiful, beautiful interview. It was very, very interesting, great questions. One of the questions was as follows. One of the questions was, what is the point in learning Hilchos Shabbos? All it is that you're going to tell me things that I cannot do. Meaning, you're going to say, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. What's the point? I don't want to learn Shabbos. You're just going to restrict me. I don't want to do this. Right? That was the kasha. It was a beautiful question. And I think it's a question that resonates with us because, we learn Shabbos and it's like, oh no, here, Baruch Hashem, we learn Shabbos, noch weiter, then Shabbos, the whole first Seder, we're learning Shabbos, we're learning Muktzah this man. It's going to be a beautiful Zman of Muktzah, it's going to be Gavaldik, Rabbi Yisai, it's going to be amazing. But why are we learning Halacha if all it's going to do is tell us what you cannot do? So I answered, it was a short interview, there wasn't that much time to, expound too much on the questions, Machala, but the answer that I gave was a very simple one. And that is like this. At the end of the day, I gave two things. Number one, when something is important to you, the details are also very important. Okay? For example, if you're an artist, you will know that it's not just the main picture, which is what's on the page, right? There's also the details, and sometimes the details are even more important than the main picture because it's all about the details. If you want to see that someone is really dedicated to something, look at how they take and pay attention to the details of it. It's very, very important. Example, you have two workers in your company. Both of them great workers, do great job. 9 to 5, no, they never come late, never leave early. They do the job they're meant to do, they do great jobs. You have to get rid of one of them. For whatever reason, there's no choice. You have to get rid of one. Now they're both great, what am I going to do? I love them both, they're amazing. What am I going to do? I'm stuck. So what I'll probably do is see which one is a bit more dedicated if I see that he concentrates more on the details. Again, they both do a great job, but one concentrates more on the details, which means it's more important to him, that the job means more to him. So I told him when it comes to Hilchos Shabbos especially, there are so many details. Shabbos is the intricate details of learning Hilchos Shabbos, of understanding an Av, a Tolda, a Doraisa, the Rabbanon, a Gzeira, especially now if we're learning Muktzah in the morning. Most of it is a Doraisa. Okay, there's a Prima Godim, or a Chashulchan. We're not going to talk about that now. I'm sure we'll discuss it, and you guys will discuss it in First Seder. But it's a Rabbanon. And then there's a Doraisa, and then there's the Gzeiras, don't do this, Otu, you might come to do that. There are so many details. Does it really make a difference? Of course it does. Because if something is important to you, the details are also important. And therefore we're learning Hilchos Shabbos because Shabbos Kodesh is so important to us. We have this Mana Shabbos program. Very, very excited about the Shabbos program. Be'ezah Hashem, we're hoping that the entire yeshiva are going to be together in Keres Tir by the Heilige Reb Shai and Reb Moshe for Shabbos Kodesh. It's going to be Gavaldik. We're working on Kedusha Shabbos. We're working on a halacha of Shabbos because when something is important to Rabbeinu Shalom, it's important to us, and therefore we pay attention to the details. That's number one. Number two, on a very simple level, and I've had this many, many times, and that is, when I had a kollel in Gan Geula area, it was interesting, it was a Chassidish kollel, and a lot of these guys were learning Be'in for many, many years in kollel, many of them by Rabbi Shareli Shir and others, real Ian guys learning Be'in, Gemara Rashi Tosas with all the Rishonim, and this was their first, for many of them, exposure to halacha. And this was one of the questions, like, oh no, we're learning Hilchos Shabbos, that's what the kollel was. Does that mean that we won't be able to do anything anymore? Right? And these were kollel guys, and it's a very simple question. But the Maisa, what ended up being was as follows. They all came out afterwards and they were like, wow, I can do so much more now. Because now I know what's mutter. Now I know what I can do. You actually feel freer. Right? I always give the example of myself. I think I know Hilchos Shabbos. I hope, Be'ezah Hashem. I try to learn more and know more, whatever it is. And Be'ezah Hashem, we've got a Sefer coming out in about a few weeks. Be'ezah Hashem, 550 pages on Hilchos Shabbos. So I think I know Shabbos. Does that mean that on Shabbos I feel restricted? Am I scared? Like, oh no, I don't know, can I do this? Can I not do this? Like, I don't know what to do now, forget. I think I'm more relaxed than you guys. Because I know what's mutter and what's also and how to do it, so therefore I can just go. You guys should be, I hope, or probably are, like, I don't know. Is that Boyer on Shabbos? I once heard a shir about it. I don't know. Is that? But you ever heard that question? People are discussing something like, Is that Boyer on Shabbos? I think isn't everything Boyer? Everything's Boyer, right? Well, it must be also because of Boyer, right? I don't know. Can I do it? Can I not do it? What's the shaila? So Rabbi say, when you learn halacha, you end up understanding and knowing more what you can do. I'll just end off the Hakdama with one last thing, Rabbi say. You guys over here think I'm giving a share on Hilchas Shabbos. That's not the case. That's not the case. I'm giving a share on Shalom Bayis. Why is it Shalom Bayis? Because you guys are going to get married one day. And your wife's going to turn to you and say, Yankela, can I do this on Shabbos? Well, Tosfos in Yevamos tells us, and she'll be like, no, can I do this on Shabbos? And you'll be like, I don't know, I just learned Masechtas Kedushin. What do I know about this, right? And she'll be like, so not only did I marry an Amoritz, I married a Mechal Shabbos, but for Hesya, Gavaldik. So we're giving you over here, Rabbi says, Shalom Bayis lessons. Because now you're going to get married, and your wife's going to say, you went to that yeshiva. They know halacha. And you're going to ask her the shaila. Unbelievable. And you should just know, by the way, that one of the boys texted me over Benas Manim. This is a boy that left a couple of years ago. And he said to me the following. He said to me, you should know, we have a family chat about different things. He said, all the shailas in halacha come to me. That's what he said. Why? Because they know that you went to, you learned a lot of halacha in yeshiva. You know what to do. He said he feels so good. Not always does he know. He asks me, whatever, we handle. But the idea is that he's holding in halacha, which is beautiful. So you guys right now are not learning Hilchas Shabbos. You're learning marriage. You're learning Shalom Bayis. This is Gavaldik. Your wife's going to be happy. It's going to be beautiful. Right? You maskim? Shem and you maskim? Okay. Chaim, you with me? No. Okay. Gavaldik. Let's move on. Okay, let's start today's halacha. Which I hope will take us through the week. I did promise the Olam when we learned Hilchos Refuah last month that we're going to be learning these halachas. And that is as follows. Very, very common shaila, very practical. We're going to bring in we're going to make a demonstration here in the Beis Medrash in the next couple of days, Be'ezah Hashem. We're going to be discussing the malacha of mamachik. Mamachik is what?
Salting. Erasing. Salting. Eating.
Sagt Asher Shalom b'Shem Rabbi Wittenstein. That it's smoothing. 100% right. Beautiful. Shkoyach Rabbi Wittenstein. Shkoyach Asher Shalom. Beautiful. You knew that. You wanted to make sure that, beautiful. So smoothing is a very, very important halacha. Why is it important? I'll tell you a few scenarios, Mati, that could be negeya. Okay? Toothpaste. Using toothpaste on Shabbos. Again, I'm not discussing using a toothbrush and brushing your teeth. I have no idea. I don't know. That's a different shayla. But toothpaste, a bar of soap, cream. Anybody uses cream during the week? For sure, when it comes to Shabbos Kodesh, what do we do with cream? Soap, shampoo, all of these shaylas that could be very negeya. Yeah? Benny, with me? Good? Livy, Shmuel. Yeah? Gabi, everything okay? What's that?
Does dippity-doo count?
Dippity-doo. I don't know what that is. Right to Rabbi Isai. Let's move on. I'm going to get in trouble for that one, no? We should cut that from the video. All right. Rabbi Isai, let's move on. Let's discuss Rabbi Isai the Akdama. Let's understand, what is the malacha of mamachik? What is the malacha of mamachik? Meaning like this. What is the Hagdara? Where does it come from? As we always discuss every malacha, it comes from the Mishkan. What did they do in the Mishkan that would cause smoothing to occur, and therefore because of that it's Asaf Asdur on Shabbos Kodesh? Which every malacha basically, of course, comes from the Mishkan. The Gemara tells us, Shabbos Ayin Gimel, the Gemara goes by Arichas to explain that every malacha on Shabbos comes from the Mishkan. If you want to go on a deeper level, I'll be the Zohar Kodesh, every malacha, because it was created, the Kodesh Baruch Hu created the world with 39 malachas, and that's why we also can't do 39 malachas on Shabbos Kodesh. But there are 39 malachas that were done in the Mishkan, and therefore the 39 malachas we can't do on Shabbos. Zeb. Which means, what was the malacha that they did in the Mishkan that was smoothing, Nasameya, that we can't smooth? No. That would be Boina, by the way. Good? No, it's very good. You say good, but that would be Boina. I didn't mention your name because shidduchim purposes, I don't want to get, Anybody? Anybody? What? No. Oh! And that wasn't it. Yeah, Gabaldi, because it wasn't even from Google. That wasn't even from Google. If I had candies, I would give him a candy. I didn't have any candies. Yeah, I owe you a candy. No, Rabbi Sai, what? Very good. Smoothing the skins. The skin that they used for the covers of the Mishkan, they had to smooth from what? From the hair. Frek all the Rishonim and Achronim, isn't that Goizes? Isn't Goizes taking out the hair? Right, that's what Goizes is, shearing. So we took out that. So what? This one is taking off the hair and this one is taking off the hair. There are two malachas, which I got some of the Achronim actually bring down. The Mishnah says you can chayiv both. Santa Shaila. The chayiv both Goizes and mamachik. The Rambam says there are many chilukim when it comes to taking off the hair, shearing, which is Goizes, and mamachik, which is actually smoothing. And that is, Goizes means to take off the big hairs, sometimes while it's alive, like the Rambam says. Of course, this is after it's dead already. That's one of the chalukim. And the other one is taking off Goizes is the big hairs. This is sometimes after you've taken off the hairs, there are still some little hairs still left over. Or sometimes when you took it out, there could be a little piece, or leftovers, whatever it is, maybe hair that didn't grow that much, that you didn't manage to shear off. So there could be leftovers. Now, in order to make the curtains of the Mishkan, it had to be completely smooth. Had to be, just imagine for yourself, you got an aliyah for the Sefer Torah, you open up the Sefer Torah, you see very clearly that the cloth that we have is very, very smooth. And now, of course, that is the hide, that's the skin of the animal, right? That's done with a very, very intricate process of smoothing. Now, in the day of the Mishkan, they obviously didn't have the mishunu that we have, but they used to take the animal skin and they used to scrape it over something sharp in order to remove the hair or anything there that would be obstructing the smoothness of it, and therefore make it to be smooth. And that was the malacha of smoothing. Now there's something called mamachik, that's the av. And then there's the tolda. The tolda is mamreach. Okay, now both an av and a tolda are doraisa, by the way. I once had the opportunity, many times, but I once went to a specific Hasidic kollel of really, it wasn't a kollel, I'm sorry, it was a yeshiva, and these were Bachrim, and I asked them this question: what's the difference between an Av and a Tolda? And they said, what do you mean? An Av is a Doraisa, and a Tolda is a Dorabanan. Right, that's what they said. So it was terrible. An Av and a Tolda are both a Doraisa. Av means it's doimer exactly to what was done in the Mishkan, and Tolda means it's similar, Kesef Mishnah, to that which was done in the Mishkan. Al Koponim over here, an Av is mamachik and a Tolda mamreach. This is very negea to creams. We're going to be having over here, Be'ez Hashem, we're going to make a demonstration. I'm going to bring you all different types of creams and explain which one is asa, maybe on a Doraisa level, a Durabona level, and maybe even mutter as well. So we're going to have to understand it to know what is going to be asa and mutter. Mamachik is to take the substance and smooth it itself. For example, a bar of soap. Using a bar of soap is pashtus going to be mamachik, because it's a heavy piece, it's a thick piece, and you're smoothing it down by using it. That's mamachik. Or for example, what they have in this country, right? You guys know what it is, right? Plastalina. No one knows what plastalina is? You could guess, right?
No.
Plastalina. Anybody? Who?
It's an Italian. Smooth green stuff.
Mamish?
Smooth, yes.
What's plastalina?
Smooth.
What's you guys haven't lived in this country long enough. Plastalina. In America, I don't know what they call it in America. I'm not sure what they call it in America. Play-Doh. That's what they call it, right? The stuff that could be chometz gomer on Pesach. You know, the kids come home and they're showing at the Seder night, look what I made. It's so beautiful. They're holding chometz gomer on Pesach. Okay, depending if it's got coloring in and whatever it is, I'm not going to go into it. No. Hashem. Hashem. You know, one of the Rebbes, I don't remember Tully which Rebbe it was, but one of the Rebbes, I don't remember which one, I don't remember which one it was. He, Torah v'Kodesh, Mamash, a Yid, Tzaddik, Sod Olam, unbelievable. One of his Eineklach walked in Seder night. Now Seder night, you know, the Rebbe sitting there with the kittel and the yarmulke from the Alter Rebbe. Mamash, a matzav over there was unbelievable. His Eineklach, whatever it was, walked in Seder night with a beer in his hand into Seder night, and you can imagine, like, you imagine what the scene would be, right? When you walk in, you got a beer, chometz gomet, Seder night, like we did bedikas chometz, we did everything. We got like, well, hello. The Rebbe got up and he said, Yingala, put it on the floor. With a smile on his face, put it on the floor. He took a kli, right? It's the halacha, we're not going to go into it now. Took a kli, took a bowl, he overturned the bowl and put it on top. gave him a little, and we moved on to the Seder. That's called discipline. That's called discipline to understand what it means. Yeah, chometz, or kas and everything else, even worse. Anyway, Rabbi Say, we have to finish a little bit of a Hagdama today. But the idea is smoothing something on Shabbos would be an Issa D'Oraisa or D'Rabbanan, depending on what it is. So Mamachik would be taking the actual Play-Doh and smoothing it down. Mamreach will be smoothing a substance, like, for example, if you have Vaseline or Nivea cream or all these sorts of creams, or, for example, toothpaste on your teeth, could be a shaila of Mamreach, which we are, of course, again, both D'Oraisa, one Av, one a Tolda. There's a lot to discuss we have to get to, a tremendous amount that we have to get to. Be'ez Hashem, we'll talk about the shaila whether cleaning pots on Shabbos is a issa of mamachik. Cleaning a knife could be a shaila of mamachik. If you have mud on your shoes, all sorts of shailas, Be'ez Hashem. Join us tomorrow, 9:40, B'siyata D'Shmaya, where we'll be going through many more halachas. Have a wonderful and beautiful day.